we're going to do something because this is what I know now, how to be a little non-violent violent, and thanks to JT Turner. Welcome to Life is Good. I'm Heather McEwen, your ever-loving hostess. Enjoy the show.
He rocks in the treetop all the day long, hopping and a bopping and a singing his song. All the little birds on Jaybird Street love to hear the robin go tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' Robin, tweet, tweet, rock, rockin' Robin.
Okay, there. Great. Good, good, good. Heather's mad at me and... Oh! Why you... I can't believe... Ow! Please! No. Ooh. Oh, this is all so sudden.
I know. That's stage combat. And if you know me, I've been beaten up twice on an airplane. I have no concept of self-defense. I freeze. And I've just learned how to do things that they could never teach me in 16 years of flight attendant training. How to take it like a man and give it back.
More importantly, how to not actually hurt anyone. I mean, none of this would be very good in an actual fight. But to have you believe two people are in an argument, that's the purpose of this walk. Keeping partners safe. Heather did a great job at keeping me safe, vice versa. Yeah.
And now on with the show. You're going to see JT Turner, a very well-known international actor who is here with us today. We're very lucky in the Northeast Kingdom to have such people living here, to entertain us and to teach us what we don't know and to show us what we want to see. And as an actor, JT is going to provide you with 3 characters today, in character. And you'll recognize each and every one of them. They'll be filmed in different parts of Dunrovin. And enjoy the heck out of it. I know I will. Thanks, JT.
My pleasure.
On with the show.
So I started broadcasting, this was pre-pandemic, some of my shows and stories online. And one of the places that invited me in with my shows was Nunavut, which, if you don't know Nunavut, it is on the Arctic Circle or in the Arctic Circle. It's about as remotely north in inhabited Canada as you can get. And, you know, these are terrific kids, and it's a challenge for them to be in school, to stay in school because of the weather, and it's really difficult to get there sometimes. And you can imagine one of the first times I was invited, and they invited me in to perform my Shakespeare show. And in my Shakespeare show, I pretend to be Will Shakespeare, and I tell them about Shakespeare's life, and I get some of the students up on their feet delivering little bits of dialogue and doing some Shakespearean verse, and we have a great sort of back and forth session. And they were so happy, these kids in remote Nunavut, that when I was done, they asked about one of Shakespeare's theaters. They said, the Globe. Well, is the Globe still around? And I said it was. It had been rebuilt in London. And working with their teachers up in Nunavut and putting them in touch with the people that run the Globe, they actually wound up getting a tour of the Globe Theater, which I haven't even had a tour of the Globe Theater. So these kids were just so lucky to do that. And it was through them that quite a few of our programs that we offer at the Actors Company were developed, because they said, oh gosh, we're reading Animal Farm. Do you have anything about George Orwell? So we developed a show about George Orwell. Or we're reading Of Mice and Men. Can you do anything about John Steinbeck? And of course, I developed an entire Steinbeck show just because of them. So yeah, we broadcast all over the US and remote Canada. And it's just a great way, because I physically can't get to all these places, for me to bring my shows, my information into them. No. Sorry, I didn't realize anyone was here. Hello? I'm Will Shakespeare. I'm so sorry. I do not normally appear to the living, but I've just been at the worst production of Hamlet that I have ever seen in my life. It was horrible. There is a point in Hamlet where a character says, "Something is rotten in the state of Denmark," and someone in the audience yelled out, "Brother, you ain't kidding." It's awful. All of the actors are overacting, and the actor playing the lead is terrible. When he got to the big speech, it was all I could do to not answer him back. To be or not to be? That is the question. No, the question is who cast you in this? Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and out... No, the only suffering going on is from the audience. Oh, I know, he's trying. One might say he's very trying. I have sympathy. I myself began my career as a poor actor. Not quite as poor an actor as yon idiot that is braying my lines in that theater. To me, theaters are sacred places. Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the very heaven of invention. A kingdom or a stage, princes to act, monarchs to behold the swelling scene. Then should warlike Harry, like himself, assume the port of Mars, while at his heels, leashed in like hounds, famine, flood, fire, crouch for employment. But your pardon, good gentles all, if we, flat unraised spirits, dare to bring forth so great an object on such an unworthy scaffold. Can this cockpit hold the vasty fields of France? Can we cram into this wooden O the very casks that did affright the air at Agincourt? You see, I invite you to enter into my play, to fill in the scenery, to journey through it with me. Can this wooden O hold the very casks that did affright the air at Agincourt? Can this wooden O hold that sea? I wonder if you would come with me. Let me talk a little bit about my life. As Prospero says, come and look in the backward abysm of time and see what I have seen. Rosemary, that is for remembrance. Remember. I'm going out to clean the pasture spring. I'll only stop to rake the leaves away and wait and watch till the water clears. I may. Shan't be gone long. You come too. I'm going out to fetch the little calf that's standing by its mother. It's so young. It totters when she licks it with her tongue. Shan't be gone long. You come too. Well, that is one of the very first poems I ever had published. Like most of my poems, it's about a few different things. Going out to clean the pasture spring, well, that's me, the poet, clearing my thoughts, cleaning my heart, getting ready to create something. And that little calf in the story, well, that's my poem. And like a good mother, I burnish it up and present it to you. It's also a bit of an invitation. You come too. And there's another poem I wrote. It's also a bit of an invitation to it. As I came to the edge of the woods, thrush music, hark. Now if it was dusk outside, inside it was dark, too dark in the woods for a bird by sleight of wing to better its perch for the night, though it could still sing. The last light of the sun that had died in the west still lived for one more song. Far in the pillared dark, thrush music went, almost like a call to come in to the dark and lament. But no, I was out for stars. I would not come in, I meant not even if asked, and I hadn't been. Oh, but that's a different sort of an invitation. Those woods, those are the dark woods. That's death. Oh, you and I aren't interested in that, no. You and I are out looking for stars, those bright little points of light that guide us on our way. He was an old man who fished alone on a skiff in the Gulf Stream, and he had gone 84 days without catching a fish. Sorry, I didn't realize there was anybody there. I certainly wouldn't let you catch me quoting one of my own books, even if it's a really good book. Or maybe one of my best. It's the one that they gave me the award for anyway. The Old Man and the Sea. Something about that book really resonates with me. It was considered a virtue not to talk unnecessarily at sea, and the old man had always considered it so and respected it. But now he said his thoughts aloud many times, since there was no one that they would annoy. If others heard me talking out loud, they would think that I am crazy, he said aloud. But since I am not crazy, I do not care. The rich have radios to talk to them in their boats and to bring them the baseball. I told the boy I was a strange old man, he said. Now is when I must prove it. The 1,000 times he had proved it meant nothing. Now he was proving it again. Each time was a new time, and he never thought about the past when he was doing it. I may not be as strong as I think, but I know many tricks, and I have resolution. No one should be alone in their old age, he thought. That might be one of the truest things I ever wrote. Well, my name is Ernest Hemingway. You can call me Papa like all my friends do. If you've got a little bit of time, you could come up to the house and I'll tell you a little bit about my life.
Welcome to Life is Good once again. I'm Heather McEwen, your ever-loving hostess. And as I said earlier in the show, when we did the introduction in the house just before JT, our wonderful actor guest, taught
Stage combat.
Stage combat over the internet to students in Rankin Inlet in Nunavut in the north of Canada. And I was so impressed. I enjoyed watching the students do everything you suggested. Anyway, JT Turner, a local actor who's really not too local when he acts.
Sometimes.
What do you have to say for yourself, Mr. JT Turner?
I'm delighted to be here with you.
I am delighted to have you here.
I have to say, first and foremost, she lives up to her nickname. Any of you that know her know she is the ultimate optimist, and I think that's great. And I'm so excited to be on your show.
Well, we've talked about it for a while.
We have.
I'm going to toast. Here's a toast that my father used to say. Here's to your health if your health is good. Here's to your blood if your blood is good. If your health is good and your blood is good, here's to your bloody good health. Canadian, Anyway, we had a wonderful time today filming here at Dunroven, and I must say, to have Shakespeare walk out of my house and then to have Jack Frost walk up through the woods.
Who's actually Robert Frost, by the way.
Oh, did I say
Jack Frost? Everyone makes that mistake because of my white hair.
No, I made that mistake because I was talking about the far north of Canada. I made that mistake because I'm an idiot. Anyway, and then to have Ernest Hemingway step out of Scott's Cove onto terra firma and talk about the old man in the sea.
Yeah. And just imagine that in my brain there are 10 other characters floating around, and you have a good idea of my life.
It's wonderful. You don't want to be inside my head.
No.
Or anywhere else, actually.
No.
But it's wonderful.
We're good friends, but no.
Right. Anyway, speaking of interesting characters, you yourself as a human being, character acting aside, have had quite a life.
I've had a really interesting life. I will admit to that, yes. I started out as a kid. I wanted to be an actor from a very young age.
Large family.
Large family, 6 of us. And I was shy and odd and a terrible public speaker when I went to grammar school. The Good Sisters of St. Leo's had...
God bless you, my child.
Thank you. They had special classes on Saturdays for kids that couldn't speak very well in class. And I went to those, and after about a month, the principal called my mother and she said, "Mrs. Turner, James is a very nice boy, but he's just never going to be a public speaker." I'm looking at you right now, sister. I'm looking at you. And I grew up, and somewhere along the way I found acting and I found public speaking, and I used to compete in speech and debate as a kid in Jersey. I was the state champion for a couple of years.
In Jersey, you were the state champion?
Yeah.
Did you learn how to swear during every single thing and yell at the audience?
Not that kind of Jersey, no. And then I went to Emerson.
I love Emerson.
Wonderful, wonderful place to go to school. And I left Emerson and went into the real world and was a mortgage banker for a bunch of years. Yes.
I had no idea.
I was a mortgage banker, and I was actually a mortgage underwriter, and I was really good at it. And then came the day where I was sort of acting on the side, doing community theater, all that, and I just decided that's what I wanted to do. I got a small role in The Crucible with Daniel Day-Lewis and Winona Ryder.
I've met Winona Ryder, but Daniel Day-Lewis is one of my favorite actors.
Brilliant.
What's he like to be with? I'm sure somebody down the road is saying, and what was it like to be with that wonderful actor from, the public speaker from Jersey?
He was great. He is very much a focused method actor, as we would call him. We filmed in Ipswich, Massachusetts in The Crucible. He actually showed up on set weeks before filming because they were building the set of the house that he would live in as the character of John Proctor. And he actually helped to build that house.
With his left foot.
That's how dedicated to it. But he was great, though. He was great.
When an actor is a method actor and then actually participates in the construction of the set, he's method.
He's great. We had one big scene together, he's being accused of witchcraft. People are yelling at him. And there is a character sort of reading the riot act to him, telling him how terrible he is. And all of the other extras, there must have been 100 of us that day, were looking at that actor. But I thought, if I'm living at that time and this is happening to me, I'm looking at Daniel Day-Lewis's character. That's who I would be looking at, pleading with him to, deny this, say it's not true, blah, blah, blah. And so he and I made this really strong eye contact during it while everyone else is looking at the other person. And he came up to me after the first take and he said, "Hey, can you keep giving me that eye contact?" And I was like, yes, Yes, sir, Mr. Lewis, sir. You bet I will. Yes. And, you know, you can't tell when you see the scene. You might be able to pick me out in the
But
crowd.
you can tell by his acting that he's speaking to somebody who cares.
He's looking around desperately, trying to see how all these people are reacting to him. It was just a wonderful acting lesson for me, and that's one of my biggest memories with Daniel Day-Lewis. Yeah, he was great. He was great.
How about Winona Ryder?
Terrific. I was in a 2-shot with her. So she's walking down the main street of Salem in the movie, going to get help for the little girl that won't wake up, right? And
Every teenager on a Monday morning.
my technical name was Lout Number 1.
That's okay. In my movie, I was old lady number 1.
I played that role.
Anyway, back to the lout. What did you do as a
So
lout? You
Winona
clumsy
walks
lout.
right by me, and I am supposed to, this is what the script says, don't write me, make a sex noise at her. So she walks by, and the director said, just kind of grunt. And she walks by me, and you hear me go, that was my big entree into film. So that was
your speaking part?
Yeah. And Winona and I would get the giggles almost every time.
I know.
We waited till the camera was done. So,
Really?
yeah,
That's
she was great.
professional.
She was great.
That was professional.
Yeah. I one day took a vow to never work in a cubicle again, left the mortgage industry, became an equity actor, became a Screen Actors Guild member, boom. And somewhere along the way, I discovered to fill in my downtime because, you know, I am not Daniel Day-Lewis. I developed these solo shows. They're based on literary historical characters. And I started bringing them around to schools and libraries, and then started broadcasting them into schools, which is, I love it.
Well,
that's why I can be in Nunavut, Canada, and sit here and have tea with you down in Vermont at the same time. It's great.
I think it's the most amazing way to teach, too, because so many opportunities are unaffordable by schools.
Yeah.
They can't afford to have a drama program in their schools or music program that is tangible.
Yeah.
So you give them a tremendous opportunity. What I saw with those students today, they were about 15, I would say, 15.
Yeah.
And first of all, there was silence when you said, there are 3 things I want you to know. Repeat after me, and there was dead silence. And then at the end, they're going, hey, you know, that's what, yeah.
Yeah.
And they were acting. I mean, they were totally getting into it.
Yeah.
And it was stage combat, and it was just a beautiful thing to watch the evolution of their minds and their bodies.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And we really, over the years, I've gotten a lot of feedback from the classroom, and it's driven a lot of my shows. So, you know, a couple of the characters that I do specifically were launched because of a school saying, hey, we're studying Of Mice and Men. Do you have any kind of a program on that? And so I went, did my research, learned everything about John Steinbeck that I could, and I perform as John Steinbeck, talking to them about Of Mice and Men, reading his chapters from it, that sort of thing.
That may have changed my literary trajectory if I'd had that happen to me in school with Steinbeck, because the first story we read was called Gavilan.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a very impressionable 8th grader.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll never read Steinbeck again. Because there was a scene where the horse died and the crows went for the eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was it for me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until my daughter took Of Mice and Men in high school, and she did a film in the backyard, acting it out with her friends, that I once again looked at Steinbeck. And I love what he does. I understand why he did that now.
He can be very raw.
But
Yeah.
I respect that now.
Yeah.
But if I'd had someone in my school like you, it would have kept me on course.
Yeah. And it's interesting to also learn from the students. You know, I talk about Steinbeck's books, you know, especially when he wrote some of Mice and Men among them, but some of his other books, how in his hometown they would gather his books and make a bonfire out of them, you know, because you read Grapes of Wrath and you never want to be the boss, but he was reflecting bosses around the country at that time. And the students now are just so responsive to that and the idea of censorship and what they see as censorship. And, not to get too political on your show.
You can be political on my show.
It's just so reflective of what's going on right now.
Well,
I mean, if Steinbeck were around right now, his things would still be burning.
I know, and Larry Bradley over at our
Nevermore
bookstore
Yeah.
has a banned book section. I totally respect Larry. Larry, if you see this show, when will we be on it again? I love doing shows over there at the Nevermore.
We should do some readings from banned books in Nevermore Bookstore.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Larry, we're going to bother you
We're
shortly.
on our way. And let's do it soon, because I've got to say, the more censorship we have in this country, the more worried I get. I taught Holocaust studies. I saw I just touched on how fascism began, because I was going from school to school to school with my own program.
Yeah.
Because of the deniers. And so I would just, no pictures of the violence, no pictures of the burned bodies, no pictures of Auschwitz. I would just say, because somebody thought a leader could save them from poverty, this is how it happened, and this is what happened in 6 million counting, and gypsies, Jews, gay, mentally handicapped, everybody who wasn't like what the quintessential normal was wiped out in a genocide. And at the end, I would always ask, do you think that could happen here? No. And I say, aha, let me walk you through history. The Crusades. Let me walk you through Native American, or in Canada, First Nation, and the wiping out of entire cultures and taking children away from families to teach them in the residential schools, which was barbaric in Canada. And all of the things that were done within not too distant past.
Yeah.
It can happen anywhere there is a man with an ego. It can happen anywhere where there's a religion that says, my God can beat up your God.
Yeah. And we can no longer talk about this in the past.
No, we're living it.
We are in the middle of it.
Yeah. And Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to mention the others.
Yeah.
And this is public access, but we are not owned and operated by anyone who does NPR. We are a different entity. So we are not funded in that regard. So if you have a show that you'd like to do, and you would like to speak up and have a forum, NEK-TV, called Todd Pronto, just call the station and set yourself up.
Love it.
While we have it, we must use it.
Amen.
Anyway, let's talk about you and your acting again. Because
I hate talking about me. What would you like to know?
you say you have 10 characters.
13.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know if I remember them all. So the very first time I came up with this idea, I no longer do this character. It was Hans Christian Andersen, and it gave me a vehicle to tell some of his stories. I don't perform him anymore. But soon after that, I loved Charles Dickens, and I had read that Dickens would tour and do readings from A Christmas Carol, and I thought, wouldn't that be amazing? So I wanted to do it differently than a reading, so I memorized A Christmas Carol. I did my own edits for it, and for 26, 27 years now, every Christmas time, I tour with a one-man version of A Christmas Carol, acting as Charles Dickens and every other character in it.
Oh.
And that has been something I've done. I believe that's probably my oldest show. And then other characters developed after that. I've already mentioned some of them, but Will Shakespeare, obviously, Benjamin Franklin, who's one of my favorites.
Hey, his original biography was not only banned, it was censored.
It was, absolutely.
Have you read the original?
I have read the original.
What's wrong with it? Nothing by today's standards.
Nothing. And did you know there are Franklin circles around the world? Benjamin Franklin has this list of 13 attributes.
Okay.
13 goals you should try to meet every day.
Really?
Yeah. And there are Franklin circles, and they get together once a month or more frequently, and they will sit down and look at each of the attributes and say, how'd you do this month about it? And this is next month's, and how can we do about it? So he still inspires people to this day. He's quite an amazing character.
Well, I'll tell you, it's one of my favorite children's books when they had the mouse go up in the kite.
Yes.
and get hit by lightning.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm always been a mouse protector. And anything with fur, I don't like to see them hurt, but that was a gangbuster show.
Yeah.
Gangbuster book, because the mouse lived.
Yeah.
And he just had a crooked tail at the end.
Yeah. Ben and Me, right?
Yes.
I think that's the name of it. Yeah. It was
Oh my
wonderful.
gosh.
Yeah.
Somebody else I know who's read the book. Yay. But
So
Ben
I
Franklin-
just found this theme of literary historical characters. That's what we call it, and we formed a little
Who's
group
we?
called the Actors Company. When I first started, it was just me, and then my son did some work with me, and he does a lot less work with me. And then a terrific woman named Marcy Diamond came along, and she was my business manager, still is my business manager, and company manager, and she also performs as Mrs. Dickens. She has a Tea with Mrs. Dickens show, and she also performs as, it'll come to me, my brain just took a little side jog, but she, this is terrible. Yeah, Atticus Finch and Scout and
To Kill a Mockingbird.
thank you. Oh my gosh, that was such, yeah, the author of To Kill a Mockingbird, and she has a whole solo show about that she performs as well.
Lee
yeah.
Harper. Harper Lee.
Harper Lee.
It's
We're not
contagious.
old. We're
it's
not
contagious,
old.
whatever.
No,
You put
no,
two
it's not. Sorry,
people,
Mars. Yeah.
two people our ages together, and you get 150 years old or something like that. You know, you
Yeah.
just go with it.
Yeah, who also had
Enjoy.
a really brilliant and interesting life. Marcy does a great job presenting her. So, you know, that also came out of somebody who was reading something literary and said, hey, you know, what have you got a program about this?
Mm-hmm.
And Marcy did a lot of work and came out terrific. So yeah.
Is there someone you think about now who you've never done, who you would like to do?
Yes.
Who?
Yes. I always have at least one person on the back burner, if not more. And sometimes I back away purposefully from a character. I've always wanted to do a solo show about Winston Churchill. I think he showed up at the right time in the right place, has flaws in his life, as do every single famous person I
He's got
reenact.
flaws, I'm telling you.
He's got some serious
His
flaws.
father had some serious duty flaws,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And
So
his-
I kind of backed off on Churchill, but
Well, that
and
one
sometimes
speech-
I will have a character that just doesn't fly, just doesn't go. So yeah,
About Churchill, I went to Royal George School in Montreal,
Mm-hmm.
and my father was in the Royal Canadian Navy,
yeah,
and I lived on Churchill Boulevard.
okay,
And my father had a bulldog during the war named Winston. And my father would always say that Winston Churchill won the war. And my grandfather could do the speech, you know,
yeah,
the one.
yeah.
So I don't want to see that speech
Ever again?
lose its strength, especially now. So I will challenge you
Yeah,
to, if you don't do Winston Churchill's life,
Mm.
please do that speech.
I
We
will
have fight them on
absolute-
the beaches. We will fight them. We will never surrender.
Yes,
Because I think that would be a very good calling scream
Mm.
for those of us who want to save this country as a democracy.
yeah, yeah. No, there's a lot of amazing things about Churchill, and who knows? I mean, it's on the back burner. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow.
I've got plenty.
Yeah.
I've got plenty right now.
Yeah,
We're
but-
doing fine.
Okay, so we did.
So my newest one is
Yeah.
is Hemingway.
Is that new? God,
Hemingway
you
is
wear
new.
them like an old coat.
Aren't you kind? I worked on Hemingway for a couple years.
Oh,
I
it's so natural
really,
for you.
I really love that character. Yeah, it's had its Vermont premiere and its Massachusetts premiere,
And how did it go?
great, really well received. It will change because one of the things I discover with all of my characters is this part's really comfortable and works, and the audience really likes this. And this isn't working.
Yeah.
And I'm losing audience here, or I'll find out something really interesting that I never knew.
How do you
And
handle his
I-
depression?
And I'll do that. I set the Hemingway show on the morning he kills himself. and I have the audience visiting him in his home, whether they're really newspaper reporters, magazine writers, are they in his imagination? And he just has this few minutes where he's going to share his life story as one last hurrah. And then afterwards, I talk about what he was going through. I do have him talk about his concussions. I do have him talk about his treatment at the Mayo Clinic when he has electroshock therapy, and about his depression firsthand. But it's only after that I really talk more about those things in the question and answer section. I talk about those things, and I also talk about the fact that his family had a genetic defect.
They do.
They had the inability to process iron in their bodies, and that shows up in the brain as a buildup, and there's depression, there's all this memory loss. And had we known then what we know now, he would have been treated very differently. He wouldn't have been sent to electroshock therapy.
No, imagine.
Yeah.
You know, imagine.
He always said that electroshock therapy was a great cure that killed the patient.
My mother had it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
And she had it during the 60s, 70s. So it was torture.
Yeah.
And eventually there was this brilliant, elegant woman, this woman who graduated first in her college class, who was non-existent.
Mm.
She existed in her love for my brother and I.
Uh-huh.
But the rest of her world
Yeah.
evaporated. And
Yeah.
I watched that when I was growing up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's very much what Hemingway went through.
well, bless his heart. Bless his heart. And you know,
Yeah.
the injury he had during the war, is it truth or fiction that he lost his manhood during the war?
Fiction.
Oh, thank God. You know,
As his three sons would tell you.
oh, good. I wonder how that happened. Maybe she jumped the fence. I don't know. I'm so happy to hear that.
Well, so
I've asked
his first book,
Yeah,
Sun Also Rises,
one of my favorites.
he's writing about his life, right? And the main character is injured during the war. And,
Is that how it started?
Yeah. And so because so many of the characters that he writes about were people that we could point to, there were people that hung out with Hemingway. Everyone just assumed Hemingway's talking about himself. He's having difficulty. But that's right before child number 1, and then child number 2, and then child number 3. And yeah, by all accounts, he was fine.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because I know the earth moved for somebody in there.
Yeah.
What was her name? Oh, it's a great, great Spanish name. The earth moved. It's a great passage for which we all hope to write ourselves someday. And he was a great writer.
He was a great writer. He is,
So many.
One of my favorites. And my favorite Ernest Hemingway story, and then we can move on to whatever you want to talk about, is he was considered paranoid at the end of his life. He thought the FBI was following him around. He would go into a bar, there'd be a couple people seated over there. He was sure they were FBI agents. They were FBI agents. After his death, we discover that J. Edgar Hoover has a giant file on him because he spent time in Cuba, and FBI agents have been following him around America for years. And they all thought his friends were like, Ernest, you're being paranoid, this is the depression, you're imagining things, this can't be true. 100% true. Yeah.
I couldn't, you know, if Hoover was alive today, I've been published against him posthumously.
Wow.
I can't say enough things about Hoover that I just, you see, I'm verklempt.
He was
I
one of the
can't stand the
finest
man.
female impersonators we've had, though.
Bless his heart. I know. I don't, you know, why?
That's insulting to female impersonators, sorry.
No, it's true. I'm just so upset with his hypocrisy. And where I wrote about him, he went after the widow of Jesse Owens.
Yeah.
And Jesse Owens turned my life around because I was going to quit training because it wasn't feminine and people were making fun of me.
Yeah.
And I was 21 or something like that. And he said, what do you do? You know, and I said, well, that's my bike. And I just finished swim practice, but I'm going to stop all that now. And he said, why? And I said, well, because it's time I grew up. And my brother and I train all the time, and really, I'm the only girl who's doing this now. And he just stopped me right there and said, every girl who's making fun of you now will wish they were you in 10 years.
Yeah.
But they wish they could never keep up with you. And he lifted the burden of peer pressure off me with that one. So then he died, and Hoover had gone after his widow. And so I wrote about Hoover posthumously, but it still was published in the wrong newspaper. It was published down south. And so I was not popular.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I gotta say, if hypocrisy leads a huge organization, maybe that organization shouldn't be around. Now it's better.
Is it though?
Well, now I can spell it. Now, who's leading it now? Yeah, well, no, that guy. What's his name?
Cash
Patel.
Yeah.
Cash Patel. Well, we won't talk about Cash. I've never met him. It's hard to know what to think about things now in any regard, no matter who's leading what.
No, I think, if we think of life as a play, the current director is miscasting every single role we have. And our play, our event, our lives are suffering because of that incompetence.
We are the audience, and we are saying, I can't watch this anymore.
Yeah.
And the cast party is going to be a big blowout at Mar-a-Lago, or maybe in the new ballroom in the White House. I mean, really, and, American tax dollar at work. I'd much rather have new infrastructure in Newport City.
That's crazy talk. Where do you come up with these ideas?
Well, I don't know. It might be because I'm a conservative financial person, but I'm a liberal social person, and I've got common sense like every other person who lives in Vermont.
I think so.
Which of your characters has the most common sense?
Ooh, that's a good question. Which of my characters has the most common sense? They all have flaws. That's one of the things that attracts me to the characters. I have a separate show about Dickens and his life. He had a very flawed life. Had a horrible love affair late in his life, and left his wife after 12 children for a younger woman, and had, so he has this big egotistical flaw going on in him. And Franklin, of course, very imperfect. Franklin owned slaves. He eventually releases them, but he absolutely has house slaves as well. So, it's hard to say who has the most common sense, because the thing that often will attract me is the flaw that they have. Hemingway, of course, drank heavily, had concussion issues, had a flawed love life because very early in life he had his heart broken, and he always, from that point on, wound up leaving women before they left him. That seems to be what his pattern was.
You should do Picasso. I mean, no, I don't. I never say the word should, but Picasso. I'd never talk to you again if you acted like Picasso in my backyard.
No. And the thing is, people always come up to me and say, "Hey, you know who would be great?" And a dear friend of mine was like, if you have a show and you perform as Jerry Garcia, telling his life story and the Grateful Dead story, you would make millions. And maybe I would, but I have no resonance with Jerry Garcia at all.
It's so amazing that you should talk about this, because I've never been to a Dead concert.
People love them. They have music that resonates with a surprising number of people, type of people. They're fantastic for those people. And listen, I'm all for celebrating whatever is joyful for you.
Yeah.
But for me, I have no interest in performing as Jerry Garcia.
Any musician that attracts you?
Pete Seeger.
Oh, really?
Pete Seeger.
Oh, you could do Pete Seeger.
I
had him played at my wedding.
No way. It's amazing.
Not him personally. I had his
music played.
Yeah,
before.
You should never marry an old man. I think it was. Don't Marry an Old Man was the song he sang at my wedding. But
yeah, he has his life to me is just fascinating and
such
beautiful.
A good man.
And he spoke so clearly for the common person throughout his life. And I have banjos and I play them very, very badly. If I could figure out a way to incorporate better banjo music, I would tour as Pete Seeger in a heartbeat.
Could you finger sing?
No, probably not.
No?
I don't think so.
He did have an ego.
He had,
And when
had
he-
an ego.
when he-
Again, not perfect.
No, but
Not
you know,
perfect.
but then he had the argument with Dylan
Yeah.
about, different forms of music that
Yeah.
resounded as folk at the Newport Folk Festival,
Yeah.
and they made up later in life, which means he could always evolve.
I think.
And I really respected him for that too, because he
Yeah.
was speaking about one part of life, but he grew.
And that's attractive in a character.
It
One of my
is.
characters is John Muir, who founded
Oh, Muir Woods?
the father of the national parks, as I call him. And early in his life, he wrote very derogatory things about Native Americans.
Did he?
He was meeting them in Yosemite. He was meeting them after white people had plied them heavily with alcohol, had driven them from their homes, and they were in horrible straits. And that was his impression of them. But as you say, and importantly, if we look at him over the course of his life, he very much changes that opinion. But even nowadays, when we talk about Muir, you can't ignore the fact that he said those things. That was a part of it. That was a part of it. So, the Sierra Club comes out a year or two ago and says, this was John Muir. He was a human being. This is what he said about Native Americans, and that's horrible. And we acknowledge it as being horrible. And so did Muir by the end of his life. So that room to evolve, I think, is a really important thing with people.
I
Yeah.
know. My son has had an epiphany in the last few years, and his girlfriend had an epiphany recently. Life-changing. And I went over to talk with her last week, and I gave her a big hug, and I said, I hear you had an epiphany. And she said, I did. And I said, I hope there are more in my future,
Yeah.
because it's so wonderful when I observe one and its result in life. And I'm thinking, wow, you wake up some mornings and you think, I'm so much smarter than I was a year ago. I haven't had that feeling for many years. I'm waiting for some kind of new
Yeah.
educational process or something. I don't know.
I've probably had them, but I forget them by sunset. So
Oh, you do?
I'm out of luck.
That means you can have them again and again.
Every day.
Every day
is a new
It's
me.
Like Gopher Day. What's it called? Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
Gopher Day.
Gopher Day. We're here with Heather in case you've lost track, because she has. Just say.
It's so much fun to be me. Oh, and there's my hand. I know.
Coming soon to theaters.
But it is fun. It's fun to be alive.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're just starting out another career, really, with all these characters and going around and doing them. And every time I talk to you, I'm going to Massachusetts. I'm auditioning. I'm auditioning.
Auditioning
I got
here
a
and
call
there.
back.
Yeah.
I got a call back. I
Yeah.
got a call back.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
It's different. It's different. Moving here to Vermont was a big move for me.
What was the genesis of that? COVID?
Long story. I purchased this home up here in the Northeast Kingdom. And it was kind of multiple reasons. I was looking for a good investment. I wanted a second home in Vermont. Always kind of dreamed of that. I wanted someplace close to the border, just in case I had to leave the country, because sometimes the country is in desperate straits. And so I had the second home. And then during COVID, the Northeast Kingdom was much better place to live in than the suburbs of Boston. There was less incidents of what was running around. Not none, but it was easier to be safer here.
Yeah.
And then afterward, living outside of Boston, the building that we were renting in got sold. So, boom, there was I looked at rents in Massachusetts.
Good luck with that.
Really couldn't. So I thought,
may we have your firstborn male child and cut off your left leg? That's only your down payment.
yeah, that's a one bedroom, or maybe a studio.
It's a studio.
Yeah.
And you don't get a window.
Nothing. So
In fact,
it's
you share the bathroom with 3 people down the hall.
but they're nice people. So yeah, I decided we'd try to make it full time here, and so far so good. But I still travel to Massachusetts a great deal for a lot of my work.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because that's where people know me. They've hired me. They've used me. A lot of high schools that use me for stage combat choreography and things like that, they're all in Massachusetts, and they call me year after year. So, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Working with young people in high school is just, I love it. Keeps me young. It's really exciting for me. Yeah.
I know. I used to do it all the time, and I've only done it once in the last year. And,
Yeah.
and you come home and you're so energized by these kids.
Yes.
Speaking of re-energizing, you do Tai Chi.
I do.
And you do Qigong?
Qigong and Tai Chi. I started practicing them both about 15 years ago, and I fell in love with it, and I started learning various forms, and I got myself certified in both Tai Chi and Qigong, and I teach sometimes live down at Island Pond.
Where?
Right at the Brighton Town Hall, right in the center of town.
There, take a trip down to Island Pond and learn how to do Tai Chi with an actor.
Just make sure I'm there. Because I only do it, a few times during the year, and then I also teach online every week, which is great.
How do you get your online thing? Is there a way we can put it down here?
So you want to look at a company called Restless, RESTLESS, little play on words. They're out of England, and they actually have like a monthly subscription, and you can do Tai Chi with me, yay hooray. You can do yoga with someone else. You can learn about astronomy. You can get a tour of a number of museums and all these things. So on a monthly basis, they'll have 30 different things that you can choose from.
Really good.
And do it all online. It's a great asset for people, especially people who are a little bit older, maybe don't get out as much, especially during the winter. So yeah, I have somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 students through that. And the majority of them watch me in replay, like when it's convenient for them, which is
It's fine.
great for them. But most of them are either retired, semi-retired, and they will be practicing their Tai Chi in a living room. So I teach a form that doesn't take up a lot of space and is accessible for them. I always give them seated options and standing options. So I try to make it as easy a community to be involved with as I can.
Good. Well, I'm talked out. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me here, letting me do some performances for your viewers, which have been great. And I love talking about myself. Let me go on for a couple hours. So thank you for joining me here on my show. And I'm only kidding. It was so gracious and kind of you to think of me,
Oh, my pleasure.
to bring me on here.
I must
been
say,
great.
I've loved it. And bringing those characters into Dunrovin, you don't know what that does for me, because the more energy that's brought onto this property, either from my friends, my family, the rare Airbnb guests I get now because Canada's not coming to see me anymore, they all bring a certain energy that rests here
Yeah.
and makes the place happier.
Yay.
And it has a richer soup of an atmosphere. And when I saw you coming out of the house as Will Shakespeare,
Yeah.
and then I saw you coming out of the swamp, Scott's Cove. I call it the swamp because, hey, I love it.
Because it's a swamp.
When you when you came out fishing rod and you look like Ernest Hemingway, and then when you were Robert Frost walking up the magic wishing path here,
Yeah.
you were the real thing to me.
Thank you.
And I believe that they were here today. And so thank you for bringing them here today.
Thank you for having me at this wonderful space.
Anytime.
Likewise, the energy here feeds the characters. So, when I walked out at Shakespeare, I'm with these trees and this gorgeous grounds, and it just, felt so right. And of course, Hemingway would have been right at home, being able to have a place to run around in the woods, as would Frost. So it just, the energy feeds the character as well.
And this is native land. I'm the first person who's lived on this property, and I honor Mother Earth in the Abenaki way.
Yeah.
I trained for 3.5 years with Cherokee Creek Medicine Man. And I will never in my life know more than that much of what he's born with.
Yeah.
And he and his wife trained me for 3.5 years in their center, their health center. And I hope that any native land that has not been accosted by the white man, or the one that has been hurt by the white man, heals. And I think Dunrovin, as you know, you've seen all the animals running around here.
Yeah.
And the deer that come right up, and they haven't come up to you yet, but there's something special here that allows all the native beings, the animals, to just have no fear. They've never been hurt on this land, and so I have to respect that. And so Jack, when Robert Frost was here, I hope you felt that.
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
Well,
That's great.
JT Turner, my dear,
Yes.
please come back.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
Thanks for tuning in and listening to me spout on about myself. I appreciate it.
And I appreciate JT Turner, and I hope he comes back and does a little bit of Scrooge for us in the snow.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah,
I would love that.
Me
Let's
too.
do that.
We'll do that.
Good.
Thanks for watching Life is Good. Kelby Rodriguez is my ever-loving editor. So anything that is added in the show that is funny or musically involved or inspirational that is interjected, that's Kelby, not me. Kelby Rodriguez. So it's a team effort here. And I thank you all for watching. Mwah. See you next week.
Thank you. Thank you. No, 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 no,
Oh,
no,
wait.
no, no.
Is that acting?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were telling me no. Oh, as soon as I turned it on. What have I done wrong?
Gonna rock tonight.